Anybody here with me? Welcome to Real Life Prepper. Alright, so welcome back to the channel if you are returning, and welcome to the channel if this is your first time. And if this is your first time, please subscribe. We need all the subscribers we can get. Please like, please comment, please share if you are motivated to do that. But everything that you do helps the channel, okay? Everything that you do. If you subscribe, that helps the channel. If you comment, that helps the channel. If you hit a like button, if you hit a dislike, that helps the channel. So thank you. Thank you so much for helping the channel. My name is Roderick Chappelle, and we are Real Life Prepper. This is a journey. Good morning, Gene. This is a journey of myself and my family trying to go from an urban environment, city, and trying to create a rural homestead for ourselves. And we have a big dream and a big goal. We want to have, 10 plus acres where we can have a main house and then set up little bungalows for family functions and when people want to visit and things like that. Have a campground, have a place for people to have RVs to come, so on and so forth. That's our vision. That's our goal. And it has taken time, which is one thing that we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about time. I was listening to normally in the mornings when I'm getting ready to go to work, I got some kind of YouTube video playing in the background, something that's either motivational or educational. And this morning, one of my mentors was talking. He was talking about not comparing yourself really to anyone. If you want to compete with yourself. If you want to compare to yourself. For example, I cannot compare myself and my channel to someone like Canadian Prepper or Pastor Joe Fox with Viking Preparedness or even Bear Independence. I can't compare this, our little small channel who's only been up a year. I cannot compare our channels with anyone, actually. Why? Because when you do that, especially when you're trying to compete and you're trying to compare with folks who are way further along, you're talking about comparing yourself with people who've been doing things that you're doing for years, and you've been doing it for days. It's not a fair comparison because you're going to lose every time. And when you do that, you get demotivated. And when you get demotivated, guess what? You stop trying to achieve the goal that you set out for yourself. So, I thought that was really, really good information this morning. And I find myself doing that, from time to time. I'll compare, my channel. I'll compare my life. I'll compare, my journey, my business, my this, my that with someone else who's been doing it for years. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's nonsense. So if you're the kind of person that does that, stop doing it. Stop putting yourself through that stress. Stop putting yourself through the anguish. Because you're never going to be able to compare it with that because, one, you didn't start at the same time. Two, you don't know what that person had to go through in order to get where they are. And three, you are creating a impossible, I don't even know what to call it. You're creating something impossible in your own head, in your own mind, that's going to be detrimental to your journey. So stop doing it if you're doing it. So let's get on topic. What is going to happen over the next year, the next 2 years, and the next 5 years? And that's a loaded question because that could be asked for everything. What is going to happen in your life over the next year? What's going to happen in the country over the next year? What's going to happen in the world over the next year? And right now, if I had to guess, I would say that we would be getting more of the same of what we're getting right now. It seems like the virus is not slowing down. We're in a political climate, of course, where, it's about to be a bunch of slander and a bunch of mudslinging. I can tell you this. Winter's coming, okay? And that's a reference if you've ever watched Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. Why? Because winter always comes. Just like summer always comes. But winter always comes because, and that's, you can take that so many ways. That's true. I did for 3 months because everything just feels so financially hopeless. Okay, and I can understand that. As a matter of fact, I was looking at our finances this morning, and I was counting up some things, and I was like, man. But I mean, I can't. You know what? I got to put it out. And I believe you have to develop an attitude of gratitude, because I stand firmly on that scripture that says if you're faithful, and I choose that word. I choose another term. If you're faithful and grateful over a few things, I'll make you rule over many. So I look back and we didn't have anything. I'm talking about Jennifer and myself. We didn't have anything. Didn't have a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out. Especially when we were homeless, and we just kept working. Not that we're multi-trillionaires now, but we are rich, and you are too. And you gotta start looking at things a little bit differently. I don't know why you pulled out in front of me like that. That was just so slow. Okay, sir. This guy just pulled right out in front of me. Had I not been paying attention, I'd have clobbered him. Start looking at. Oh my God, I need some petrol. Start looking at your stuff and start looking at your life as you're rich. And I passed the Shell station. I need to stop there. Because you are. I heard something. I can't remember. I was a young man. I mean, I'm probably like 18, 19, 20 years old when I heard this. And this guy was in front of a room. He's like, "You want to be a millionaire?" And everybody raised their hand and all that kind of thing. He's like, "You already are." He said, because anybody without a right arm would be willing to give you $250,000 for yours. I was like, wow. Anybody without a left arm would be willing to give you $250,000 for your left arm. Anybody without a right leg would be willing to, and be happy to give you $250,000 for your right leg. Same thing for your left leg. It's like, there, you're a millionaire. And when I heard that totally changed my life. It didn't at the time, but as I started to get older, I started to realize that there were a lot of things that money can't buy. Now, granted, we live in a country, we live in a culture, we live in a world where you got to have some money. Okay, don't get me wrong. Don't think I'm some spooky mystical creature that's about to be like, and all your financial problems are over. But I really truly believe that when you start becoming more faithful, more grateful. I believe that more opportunities come your way. And when more opportunities come your way, I believe that finances start to follow you. And it's taken me until I got into my 40s to stop chasing at my goals, and then the money just started coming. I'm serious. For all my life, I've always chased money. Always chased money. And the moment that I started just chasing my goals, chasing my dreams, chasing my vision, the money just started coming, okay? I know that sounds crazy. I'm keep meaning to use my microphone. I keep forgetting, but it's all good. One of these days, I'm going to have a microphone with me all the time. So, I believe over the next year, what's going to happen for us, for myself, me and my family, we're going to keep getting better. The longer you live, you should be getting better. You can do one or two things. You can get bitter, you can get better. I choose to get better. Okay? I got a funny feeling that some opportunities that are presenting themselves in the past may be going away in the very near future. And if that is the case, then hey, so be it. It is what it is. Because I try to set my life up and myself up where I keep opportunities. Okay. I've been talking to you guys for months now about Bitcoin, and we started talking about silver investments and all that kind of stuff. And I hope to constantly bring things to you guys that will help you financially. Start achieving some financial goals. Because I'm not crazy. I know you don't need some. Most of us are trying to get a homestead. Most of us are trying to, purchase land. As a matter of fact, I found for us it'll be a dream home, but I found a home this weekend that both Jennifer and I have fallen in love with. It's way out of my price range, but it's perfect. Perfect. The house is perfect. It's sitting on I want to say it was sitting on 13 acres. It's about half of it's wooded, about half of it's open, where we could have, livestock if we wanted. Plenty of room. As a matter of fact, I already had RV connections on it. I was like, oh man, this is sweet right here. And right here in our backyard, right in Smithfield, about an hour and a half away from us, in the country, which is where we want to go. Are we going to be able to do that right now? Who knows? Maybe. We'll be able to do it next year? Very possible. In the next 2 years? Definitely. In the next 5 years? And I told you guys this before, but once I learned that the Chinese set up 100-year goals, it started motivating me to look further in the future toward goals. And I know now at this point in time in my life, some of the things that I want to accomplish are being set up for ancestors, for my ancestors, for my children's children's children. Because I want to be that person. Because I look back and I think often, now granted, if you look back, several generations in my family, they were slaves. They were Native Americans who were enslaved and crossbred with natives, and and then crossbred with Irish and all kind of stuff. So we're a melting pot right in my own family. So I look back and I'm hard on some of my ancestors. I'm like, golly, why didn't y'all buy gold? Why didn't y'all buy land, especially land? But then I started thinking about it, and I can't remember who said. Somebody said it on this channel. It's like, somebody said something that caused me to think, like, what if they didn't have the opportunities? And that makes sense, because you can't make me believe that I'm the first person in my family that has long-term dreams and goals for our family. You can't make me believe that. But it's not going to die with me, because I'm definitely trying to set it up where we can have something long-term in our family. And I know that land is definitely long-term, because they're not making any more of that stuff. We may start buffering, because I'm about to go through this dead zone, y'all. If we do, I apologize in advance. So yeah, it's that dream has been with me for a while. That vision has been with me, and I know where where you focus and you concentrate on something, the universe at large starts to work in your favor. And when you start speaking things all the time, you start thinking things, because thoughts become things. We Jennifer and I, we was like, man, if we could ever get out this apartment and own a house, man, it's gonna be woo-wee. And within a matter of, it wasn't even a year and a half from the moment we said we were gonna do it. We was like, we're buying a house. And both of us had shitty credit at the time. So Jennifer was in a driver's license at the time. Her license had been $1,000 to get all that straight. I went out and I hustled. And one day, and I just kept saving. I never told her. I just kept saving. I'll do something I have to find to get a job somehow, even if it doesn't last for more than 2 or 3 months. I'm gonna address that. Auburn, just one thing I can tell you in this story, hopefully you'll find some motivation. I just hustled, anywhere where I could make an extra dollar here or there. Anywhere where, and at the time, when we said we were going to be homeowners, guess what? I didn't have a job. I didn't have a valid source of income. I was finishing up my degree, and my GI Bill was about to run out. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to go into that story. Anyway. And Jennifer had started working at a place. I was working at a place. I ended up losing that job. I ended up getting fired, actually. which is crazy because I'm like, you gonna fire me? Are you crazy? All the stuff I do around here? Because see, I try to make myself way more valuable. No, I'm not gonna say I try to. I make myself way more valuable to a company than what they're paying me. Okay, that's the key to keeping a job long term. In my opinion, that's the key to keeping work. I'm not even gonna say a job. That's the key to keeping work. Become more valuable than what people can pay you. But don't come in showing all your value. Because see, a lot of folks get threatened when you come in. You're like, oh yeah, I can do this. Some people get threatened by that. So it's Anyway, let me tell y'all this story. So from the time that Jennifer and I said we was gonna buy a house, she didn't have a valid driver's license. We didn't have any money. I got this little job making $12 an hour, which around here is nothing. But I mean, then again, to say that it's pretty decent too. I met a young lady yesterday. My heart went out to her. She told me she was making $8 an hour. I was like, oh my God. I was in awe. I don't even know how you can make it on $8 an hour. I really honestly don't. And I was like, oh my God, really? So and I should have left her a bigger tip. But I had already, said what I was going to leave before she told me what she was making. Anyway, I digress. I need to get some gas. So anyway, where was I? So we decided we was going to buy, and we were living in a townhouse at the time. We had moved from our apartment. We had moved from our little 2-bedroom tiny apartment. I think this apartment was only like maybe 700 square feet. Matter of fact, when my son, who was about 9 at the time, came to our apartment, our very first apartment Jennifer and I stayed in, he walks in, he's like, oh, this is cozy. And that was a real funny way of saying this is really small. And it was really small. As a matter of fact, when the kids came and stayed with us, I want to say they slept in the living room because the second bedroom, it wasn't big enough for 2 kids to sleep in. So I literally think that the kids slept in the living room. Matter of fact, I know for a fact they slept in the living room on the sofa and love seat when they came to visit. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And I firmly believe that. I'm a firm believer in you have to do what you got to do when you got to do it. But at that moment, we didn't know where we was gonna go, and we moved to Portsmouth, stayed in a little house for about a year. It's a townhouse. It was miserable. Oh my God, we had people above us. They used to bounce basketballs in the house. It was so terrible. You likely can't make it on that without a conversation partner or friend that you. That's true. Yeah. So I'm assuming she probably still lived at home with her parents or whatever. She was young, but old enough to have a life going on. So I got me a job. Jennifer got a job, and we only had one car. So it was funny. A lot of times I would drive her way out to her job in Suffolk, which is like a 45-minute hour drive sometimes, or she would take me to work and then take the car, and I just do whatever all day, hustle, and then after, once her shift was over, she'd come pick me up, and we did that, and Jennifer never murmured, she never complained. She just, one thing about that girl, she just does whatever she has to do. And that's one thing I admire and respect about her, because she's like, hey, whatever we got to do, we just got to do it. So about a year later, I had finally saved up $2,000. At the time, that seemed like such a big feat. And for anybody, when you're broken, you're struggling. $2,000 is a lot of money. And it took me a whole year to save up $2,000. And one day, my son was down here, and I got a call from one of my recent clients, and she's like, hey, I need you to come move me. I'm like, what? Good morning, Mr. Stella. How are you? I need you to come move me. I'm like, are you serious? So I was like, hey, Junior, let's go get this money real quick. I was like, I'm going to pay you. I don't know if I'm going to pay you, but I'm going to pay you something. He's like, okay, Daddy. So we went, and we moved this lady's whole house. Just spur of the moment. I didn't charge her anything. I had no idea what she was going to give me at the end. This lady handed me $400. She gave me 4 $100 bills. And I was so grateful to get that. She's like, is this okay? And I think I asked, I said, I tell you what. I said, can you give me $4.25? She's like, sure. You spurred a moment, boom. She's like, consider this a tip. And what I told my son, I said, Junior, I said, I want to do something special for Miss Jennifer. That's what my kids call Jennifer. I said, I want to do something special for Miss Jennifer. I said, because now he was a young fella at the time. I mean, Junior had to be no more than like 12 or 13, maybe. He just happened to be here that summer. And I said, I tell you what. I said, have you ever held $2,000? Because I knew what I had at the house. I had $1,600 at the house. But Jennifer didn't know about it. I said, have you ever held $2,000 in your hands? He said, nah. The eyes get all big and everything. I said, I tell you what. When we get home, I'm going to let you hold and count and play with $2,000 as long as you want. I said, and for helping me, I'm going to give you $25. I said, if we make that deal, are you going to be good with that? He's like, yeah, Dad, yeah. I said, okay. So we get home. I go upstairs. I pull the money. Jennifer asleep. I pull the money out the safe. I give it to him, let him count it. He counted it probably 5, 8, 10, 15 times. He sat there, he took money, he took pictures with that money. That boy was just so excited about that money. I gave him his $25. He's like, okay, Dad, I'm good. I was like, let's go wake up Jennifer. And I remember, Jennifer didn't have a driver's license at the time. I was driving everywhere, dropping her off at work, blase. And that's what it was. I had to do all the driving because I was the one with a valid driver's license, or I had a suspended too. I don't know. At one time, both of us had suspended. So when I tell y'all we've been through some of everything, we've been through some of everything. So we go upstairs. I said, Jennifer, wake up. I said, I got a surprise. I said, me and Junior got a surprise for you. She's like, what? And Jennifer loves surprises. She's like, what? What is it? So I handed the money. I had already told Jennifer, Junior, I'm going to hand you the money. You just throw it on the bed, okay? And I think I always keep it like in a Ziploc bag or whatever. So this crazy boy. I hand him the money. She don't have a clue of what's going on. She's just waking up. She don't have a clue of what's going on. So he takes the money and he throws it on the bed with all his force. Now, I don't know if y'all ever seen a stack of money where it's only like four $100 bills and the rest of them are like 20s, 10s, 5 1s, and maybe a few 50s in there. But that stack is like huge. It's like this daggum tall. So if money hits the bed, it's like don't right? She's like, what the heck is going on? I said, go ahead. I said, this is your surprise. So she opens it. I like, go ahead, open it up, count it. So the more she counted, the more she started smiling. And she's like, what in the world? How? I was like, don't worry about how. Don't worry about what. I was like, this is your money. I like, go get. And we already knew that it was gonna take about $2,000. I said, go get your license straight. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you. I think it was within 40 hours. This girl goes and get these license straight. Now she can drive. And it's like everything just started working itself out after that. We paid off a bunch of her, debts. At the time, I didn't know you could just. Now I know just the challenge stuff. Good morning, Chocolate Beauty. So we paid off. She had a bunch of small crap. It was less than like $600-700. So we started paying off debts. Well, actually, we started paying off bad debts, creditors and things. And next thing you know, we worked on Jennifer's credit because it was impossible for me to work on my credit because at the time I was still owing back child support. So lo and behold, it came to a time where it was time for us to renew our lease at the townhouse we were at, and we had been kind of house hunting and shopping, but every time we would find something, as soon as we call about it, it would be under contract, and we got so frustrated. We did this for like 3 months, so frustrated, and it was coming down to the wire where we were gonna have to sign a new lease, and that was the only choice, you know. And I think about 2 months out, Jennifer, well, no. Like I said, every house we would go to, it would be under contract. So we pull up to the house where we live at now, and it was so funny. I was like, and then, you know, I'm always the one that's searching for houses. So I was like, man, I love this house right here. So I was like, babe, I got a house we're gonna go look at after you get out of work. She's like, okay, cause that was our norm right there. We pull up in the driveway, and we got this thing, like, if we don't both feel it when we pull up in the driveway, we don't even get out. But there was something different about the house we live in now. When we pulled into this driveway, both of us was like, this is it. Beautiful. I mean, the brand new driveway. It just poured the concrete. Brand new driveway. House was clean from the outside. It was a nice backyard, fenced in, and privacy fence on one side. And we was like, yeah, this is it. So I had the sorriest real estate agent at the time. I wouldn't even talk to him. One time I was talking to him, like, come open the door. I called the listing agent. I was like, hey, I'm sitting in front of blah, 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 such and such right now. Can you give me the status of this house? She's like, it's under contract. I was like, man, every time I find a house I want, she's like, hold on. We're supposed to close tomorrow. I'll know by 10 a.m. if this contract's gonna go through or not. And she's like, and it doesn't look good. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, really. So, okay, cool. So lo and behold, this chick called me the next day. I was like, listen, if this does not go through, don't even list this property. We hadn't even seen the inside of it. I called my real estate agent, and I was like, hey, I got a house I want to see tomorrow. Blase, blase. He's like, okay, well, we can do it after work. Meet me over there at 5 o'clock. Cool. So, yes, I'm going to Dollar General after the broadcast to find out why I haven't got another email for a week. Is that a job that you're applying for? I'm gonna tell you guys, this is how I've always gotten my jobs. I go in, I talk to the manager or whatever, or whoever's the hiring person. I put in an application and I wear the hell out of them. That's how I've always got my jobs, literally. So, long story short, and Tinky was the only dog we had at the time. I'm trying to get hired. It's kind of odd. They usually get back to me pretty quick. Yes, okay, cool. Make some phone calls, you know. So as soon as we go into, because of course the house was locked up, we couldn't get in. We go into the backyard. We just walking around the house like, man, we really like this. And Tinky, oh my gosh, Tinky gets in this backyard. She just starts running around like she is crazy. The listing agent calls me. She's like, hey, closing didn't go through. I was like, do not list it. We want this house. We hadn't even looked at it. Yeah, Auburn, I'm touching and agreeing with you. Sending your love, sending your prayers. You got it, okay? And lo and behold, she calls the next day. She's like, hey, contract didn't go through. So I was like, all right, cool. Do not list it. We're going to buy this house before we even saw it. Sight unseen. So we go see the house we're living in right now. Go see the house with our trifling real estate agent. But this dude, one thing about it, he was trifling the whole time until it was time to close. This dude closed the hell out of our deal. He got us so much stuff. And plus, it was a very motivated seller because he had remodeled his house. And it was payday, and the contract didn't go through, you know. So, yeah, it was. That's how we did that. So, where will we be in the next year, 2 years, 5 years from now? I'm making plans, okay? And you have to make plans too. I spoke to the manager, bro. I used to do the same. Now they keep the phone off the hook. They generally don't have time to answer phones. That makes sense. Well, go see them. Go talk to them. So anyway, guys, just hang in there. I know a lot of us are not even struggling financially. We're struggling psychologically because we are human beings, and we are touchy feely type people, or type creature. And I know for a lot of us, this is really, really tough. So hang in there, guys. Things will get better. This too shall pass. We're gonna be all right. Okay. I gotta run. Get my day started. I absolutely love you guys. I send y'all some love. I forgot my necklace today. And y'all be blessed. Have a great and wonderful day. And remember, this week we are reviewing Containment, Season 1, Episode 2. Season 1, Episode 2 this Saturday. I hadn't put it up yet, but I will. At 5:30 Eastern. Okay, 5:30 Eastern. So in your spare time, part-time, y'all watch Containment. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning if I don't see you guys before then, all right? Y'all be good. Be blessed. Love y'all.